Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99 back on the fight front once again. As you know, Keith Thurman, he already stated that he wants to fight Manny Pacquiao this year, and it's looking more and more like this fight's going to happen because, you know, after the Jose Zito Lopez fight, you know, an interview, he stated that he wants to unify his WBA title with Manny's WBA title, which is the super title and the regular title, you know, whatever that is, man. But yeah, he wants to unify, he said, this year. And he said that he feels good and, you know, he's down for whatever. If Manny wants to fight and wherever he wants to fight, he said he's going to be ready. But my thing is, whether Keith is 100%, you know, he wants to fight anyway. Nobody's going to turn down a fight at 147 with Manny right now. You know, as hardcore fans and other fighters, you know, they definitely saw a weakness in Manny, you know, on that Adrian Broner night. You know, I know Adrian Broner did get whooped by Manny. Manny did do enough to beat him, but, you know, there's a lot of, there was a lot of holes in Manny's game that night, and I think the age did show. So, you know, guys like Keith Thurman, you know, they definitely want to go after this fight. And for somebody like Keith Thurman, you know, this ain't just like a legacy fight. You know, he's not just doing this for legacy. You know, he's doing this fight for two reasons, you know. For one, it's physically safe, and number two, it's financially safe. And by physically safe, I mean, you know, he knows that Manny's a smaller guy. You know, Manny's the older guy. And again, you know, he saw the Adrian Broner fight just like everybody else. So he feels like he could capitalize off those mistakes that Manny was making. That's what he thinks now. But in my opinion, you know, Manny still has enough to beat Keith Thurman. You know, he still has enough in the tank to beat a Keith Thurman. But I feel like he's seen those weaknesses. So now he's kind of like, hey, I can kind of capitalize off this. You know, Manny's a smaller guy. You know, hopefully he might age overnight. On top of that, he's probably feeling like I could, you know, expose more of those little holes that Adrian Broner couldn't. You know, I could, you know, do more than Adrian Broner did in those spots. But, you know, it takes a lot. It takes a lot more than saying, you know, you got to do it. And, yeah, I just feel like all of those little things are making it physically safe for him versus taking on somebody like, you know, Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford. Of course, those guys aren't the legends that you know, Manny or Floyd are, but, you know, they're just as hungry and they're just as young and just as strong, or if stronger, than Keith Thurman. So Keith Thurman, he's not really ready for another prime guy that's on his level. He'd rather take his chance against a legend who could show up or who couldn't show up. You know, that's the thing. You know, it's still 50-50 with Manny. You know, Manny could be there or he could age overnight. So he's willing to take that risk. But again, it's just like, if you said to man, it's almost like this, man. If you just said to Keith right now, Manny, you got the fight. I mean, if you just said to Keith, you got the Manny Pacquiao fight. It's like winning the lottery. You know, aside from Floyd Mayweather, this is the biggest fighter a lot of these fighters can have, which leads me into my next reason. This fight is financially safe for Keith Thurman for the fact that this fight could set him up for life. You know, it's definitely a win-win. If he loses, he still wins, because if he goes in there and loses to Pacquiao this year in 2019, you know, he could just say, oh, I was fighting a legend. You know what I mean? I was fighting Pacquiao. You know, that's a given. Pacquiao has enough to beat me. You know, if I lose, oh, well. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if you were fighting Mayweather, you know, you lose to the best, you know, there's nothing you can say. You know, just like when Canelo lost to him, it was just Mayweather. You know, you just lost to the real one. And that way he can kind of ride off on that, at the same time get a big check, you know. Now, if he was to lose to Errol Spence this year, 2019, coming back after the Jose Zito Lopez fight and then fighting Errol Spence, and he loses to Errol Spence, there's a lot to lose. You know, a lot of doors closed, a lot of haters and other hardcore fans of boxing, a lot of their theories are going to be proven correctly, you know. In our eyes, you know, we're going to say, oh, yeah, he was scared of Spence. Oh, yeah, Spence did have enough to beat him. And it's just going to put him further down the ladder, you know, whereas a Manny defeat, depending on how he loses, like, now if he was to lose in like the fashion of a Chris Algieri, then it could knock him down a rung. But if he loses in the fashion of just kind of going through the motions, oh, I just got outworked by the legend, you know, I can kind of walk away with my pride, you know. But if he was to lose in the fashion of getting his ass whooped, you know, getting knocked down, something Broner he didn't even do, then it would probably knock him down a peg or two. But I don't see him losing in that fashion. Now, if he was to fight Spence, again, like I said, you know, there's a lot to lose this year if he fights him this year. But see, if he fights Manny this year, not much to lose, you know, and again, you get that big check. So it's just like, man, like a lot of these guys, you know, like Keith, you know, they trash talk guys like Floyd. You know, they say, oh, he did this and then he did that. But all of these guys out here, man, they're really following Money Mayweather's blueprint. And notice I said Money Mayweather. I didn't say Pretty Boy Floyd's blueprint. They following Money Mayweather's blueprint because they're all trying to, you know, get a big check. They all want to cash out. You know, they're all trying to find a superstar to kind of bank on and get the biggest money they can and kind of get out intact, which, you know, is a good idea as far as, you know, a lot of these boxers now a lot of the boxers in the past where they got kind of shortchanged, but, you know, I can understand, like, if they want to get money. But at the same time, you know, don't ignore the big tasks at hand. You know what I mean? Don't try to ignore your legacy. You know what I mean? There is no such thing as danger. If you're that good of a fighter, you should be able to beat any fighter out there, how dangerous or how powerful they are. You know, you shouldn't even see, like, them as a health risk. So if you want to hold out for more money and make a fight right, that's a little bit different. But if you're kind of holding out because you think that they're too powerful or they're too strong or they're too dangerous, then you might want to rethink your sport. But yeah, man, I really feel like this Manny Keith Thurman fight is probably going to be in negotiation soon, probably sometime maybe next month or this spring. So don't be surprised if they announce it sometime, you know, in like March or April, and it happens over the summer. But it could happen in like the fall or the closeout year of 2019 because, you know, Keith might draw it out because he probably wants to fight, you know, this is 2 times a year. So he might fight, you know, 1 more time this year and try to wrap it up sometime, like I said, maybe this summer or sometime in like November or December. But, you know, who knows, you know, because Manny might want it sooner. So he's going to have to do what Manny says because, like he said, wherever Manny wants it, you know, that's what they can do. But real quick, too, yeah, man, because he really wants this fight. Again, man, because like I said, just all those safe factors, but you can really see his comfort level. Like once you mention a Manny fight, it's already like we talking paper. You know what I mean? We talking paper because, you know, Crawford, he would have taken the fight. Sean Porter, he would have taken the fight. Errol Spence, they all would have taken this fight. But, you know, right now, Keith Thurman is the one that's looking like he's going to get it since he just finished his tune-up fight. So you can really hear the confidence in his voice with this fight because it's all about that paper, man, because once you bring up Errol Spence, there's an irritation level there. Once you look at his reaction and his body language, you can see the irritating level he gets whenever people kind of puts him on the spot against that fellow eye-to-eye prime guy. But when you're just talking about the legend, where I can make money, you know, let's do it. that's his mind frame. But like I said, man, he can't count Manny out just because of what Broner didn't capitalize on or what he looked like against Broner, man. Because like styles make fights. And again, there's levels to the game. You know, this would be Keith Thurman's first pay-per-view, you know. So how he handles that pressure of going to the ring in front of this big crowd that's going to be pro Manny, you know, that's on him. So, you know, you never know. Like, physically, he could be there. But mentally, when he sees all that, he could clam up. We never know how he could react. But, yeah, man, if the fight happens, yeah, like I said, I still got to kind of lean towards Manny. But, yeah, we're going to see, man. But, yeah, man, let me know what you guys think. Should this fight even happen? Do you really care if it happens? Again, man, like we said, especially the way Keith Thurman looked in this last fight, we don't think the Errol Spence fight is going to be happening in 2020 either. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think of this fight coming up. If it happens, what you guys think. Make sure y'all subscribe here to Combo Breaker 99 as well as the Jab Effect YouTube channel. And I'm probably going to be talking more about this in depth on the Jab podcast, which I'm going to record tonight. Make sure you subscribe to that as well. It's on the iTunes platform, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud, all of that. Castbox also. You just look us up, Jab Podcast. You can check us out there and follow and subscribe. Again, Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Peace.